Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great. Last week we had the best single player games of 2024, check out the video if you missed it. And today, we'll be taking a closer look at Bellwright, a medieval open world survival RPG that came out in April in a pretty bad state. A lot of people couldn't even play the game due to the terrible optimization and regular crashes, and those who were lucky enough to play it, they had to deal with game-breaking bugs and other technical issues. But Bellwright received a couple of major updates and tons of hot fixes since last time I reviewed it, so I thought I'd try it out again now in order to answer the following question. Is Bellwright good now? Let's find out. But first, if you want to save tons of money on all your PC games, check out Instant Gaming. This month, they're doing the Advent Calendar, so every day a new game goes on sale. But if your favorite game isn't there, just look it up. Whether it's Dragon's Dogma 2, Space Marine 2, Stalker 2, or what's another game with a 2 in it? Oh, Silent Hill 2, you can save at least $20 on each one of those games. Instant Gaming is 100% legit. All the games come straight from the authorized resellers. So go ahead and click the link in the description and get more bang for your buck. Now let's get back to the review. On Bellwright, you start off by doing a couple of quests to prove yourself to the nearest village. Then you can start recruiting villagers. They'll build your settlement, work, craft you whatever you need, and they'll even die for you. All you have to do is feed them and house them. Is it slavery? Yes, and I love it. This is me playing Bellwright.
Get back to fucking work.
After you survive bandit raids and build yourself a tiny army, you can start liberating villages, cause that's the main goal here. To do that, you'll need some decent gear and a little bit of practice. Otherwise, you'll get the shit beaten out of you every single time. Cause range combat is super satisfying. Landing headshots with the bow feels great, but even after all these updates, melee is still a little bit messy, especially when more than 2 people are involved. And in this game, that usually happens all the time. If you played Mount & Blade, then you're familiar with the directional combat system. It only works in 1v1. I gotta say though, compared to how it was back when I last played this, in July, melee feels much better now, especially since I started using this sledgehammer. Tossing enemies left and right feels dope. It's got more reach than one-handed weapons, so I miss less often, and I take out enemies faster, which means I don't get overwhelmed by enemies as much. Overall, when using good weapons, melee combat starts feeling more enjoyable. Check out these 2 bitches going on a lunch break while I'm literally fighting for my life. In case you haven't noticed yet, Bellwright is a janky game. For example, the AI sucks dick. Whether it's wild animals in the forest, your companions in settlements, or enemies in an open field, everyone somehow manages to get stuck everywhere. Pathfinding still needs a lot of work. Wait, is this bitch giving me the middle finger?
What brings you to my humble abode?
First time you see this kind of shit, you'll laugh your ass off, but then you get used to it. At least, performance, which was a deal breaker for a lot of people at launch, is much better now. At 4K, max settings with DLSS set to balanced, without frame generation, I get between 65 and 80 frames per second. With frame generation on, I get around 100-110 FPS with a 4080. My brother has a 3070, and on medium settings, he gets around 80 FPS with DLSS. He plays at 1080p though, so it's still far from being perfect, but way more people will be able to play better right now. The second deal breaker was the AI voices. Let me give you an example so you know what I'm talking about. I caught this motherfucker stealing chickens, and this is what he said when I threatened to tell the whole village.
No, please don't, I'll make it right. But if you tell her I'm done for, give me another chance.
That's just terrible, cause even with AI, you can get much better results than this shit. I asked Copilot, Microsoft's free AI app, to do the same line as a medieval character who got caught stealing chickens and who's desperate. Check out the result.
No, please, don't. I'll make it right. But if you tell her I'm done for, give me another chance.
It's not perfect, but it's much better, right? If the devs could use something like this as a placeholder until they hire real voice actors for the full release, I assure you more people would be interested in playing this game right now. I like how they added roads though. They make movement faster and you use less stamina. They also made fast traveling without your companions less annoying, cause now they catch up with you way faster and they don't stop following you when they're hungry anymore. That was probably my #1 complaint back then, but now they only run from fights when they're hungry, so that's great. And what's even better is that with the newly added river docks, you can finally fast travel with your companions. Bellwright is a single player game, but it also supports up to 4 players in co-op. I don't have any friends, so I played with my brother. Multiplayer used to be laggy for him for no reason, now it's fine. I mean, kinda. You see, my brother has a serious problem with torches in this game. He was never able to see his own torch. No update fixed it for him. But now, something even more strange happened. We raided the bandit camp and fucked everybody up real good. While I was looting this chest, he was just jumping around, being useless, as usual. And then, all of a sudden, he got teleported to another bandit camp and they beat the shit out of him in no time. I don't know if you watched From, but in that show, people can teleport by entering certain trees. In Bellwright, my brother teleports by jumping on torches. So he kept on doing that shit and landed on all kinds of random torches throughout the map until things got even worse. He started T-posing, which was hilarious, but he couldn't do anything apart from walking and jumping. It's like I was watching him play Super Mario Bros. 1. Make no mistake, no matter how broken this game can be, it's incredibly addictive. There are many games I can't play for longer than an hour at a time, but I can play this one all day long. It's probably because I love medieval open world RPGs and also because this game is chill. Apart from the tense moments where I get gangbanged by bandits, I think it's time to move on to the verdict. Bellwright is one of those slow-paced games where there's so much to do. It gets repetitive after some time, do enough quests for a village to gain their trust, fight brigands, liberate the village, defend it and move on to the next one, but you'll have to play at least 40 hours before you start feeling that repetitiveness. And if you're considering beating the game, that will probably take you more than 100 hours, so you're definitely getting your money's worth. And that's why, despite its flaws, I'ma give Bellwright a 7 out of 10. I reviewed this game for the first time about 5 months ago, and I'm glad to see the devs already fixed most of the issues I mentioned. If you like this kind of stuff, $30 is money well spent. And that's gonna be it for this review. I hope you found it helpful and a little bit funny. Please don't forget to subscribe for more game reviews like this one. A thumbs up would also be heavily appreciated. It's been Hitman89. Have a good one.
I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare.